Is Dex in the shot ever so slightly?
No. I think you can
Move your
barely
knee,
see.
dumb bitch.
Is that an ear?
I believe that is an ear.
Whoa.
Just make him out. And just make out his head. Stop putting your knee in him.
Oh, you can. There's just a little head there.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's nice to have a full house.
I love it.
It's nice to have a live audience.
It is.
Or S.
They're gonna. Oh, M.
So,
I'm gonna hold up the applause sign whenever they need to applaud. That's where I was trying to go. Anyway.
hello everybody, and welcome back to SMSoup, the #1 podcast with soup in the name, but not. I'll tell you where it's not. I'll tell you where the soup isn't. It's not on the brain. That'd be weird. It'd be weird to put soup all over your brain. Probably not good for you either. You need to have like brain fluids and stuff, not soup. So,
Are the ultimate question, are brain fluids just soup?
no. The ultimate question is, waiter, how's the soup made? And we're gonna get there on a journey.
Through life's biggest question.
Whatever. It didn't
Time's
work.
a loop.
I couldn't say
You
that.
actually went forward in time.
Who am I?
Spencer.
And you are?
Shelby.
Okay. Go ahead. Now what?
Did we do it all? I was going to try and make a time loop reference of how somehow you in the future told yourself to change the words, but then who told that future self to change the words, and then who told that future
Gotcha.
self?
Yeah, you're doing the thing that I hate.
Yeah. I'm Harry Pottering it. They're the first that ever did it.
Nope.
First and only.
Nope. I just really hate it.
I know.
Really hate time loops.
I know.
Kind of the one thing that I feel like nobody questions
Yeah.
about time loops.
Well, it's because
And
none of
the
us
one
really
thing-
understand.
No, I get it. I get that we all don't understand, and like it's not something practical, and so it's just a made up thing. So
Mhm.
it's nothing to get hung up on. However, nobody ever addresses it, and nobody else ever questions it.
Yeah.
Everybody just accepts time loop. It happened.
Like, I find multiple universes more easy to wrap my head around than time loops.
100%. What I'm getting at for people who, as I beat around the bush, is that I'm just going to set up a scenario where Shelby and I are dying and like we're drowning, let's say. We're out in the middle of the water, and right before we black out, a mysterious boat shows up and saves both Shelby and I. We then find out time travel exists, and it was future Spencer and Shelby who were on the boat rescuing drowning Spencer and Shelby. The problem is, future Spencer and Shelby would have had to have also gone through the drowning and been saved in some other way, not by themselves, because there would be no way for that loop to ever begin. So the loop can never begin, so I never understand how it's actually going. Anyway, nobody ever questions that, and it really bothers me. It's much easier to believe that I'm from an alternate universe. I saved you. By the way, time travel exists, and then the loop begins. That I could wrap my head around, but nobody gives that explanation.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyway, how are you? How are you doing?
Pretty good. Just here, you know. I'm not gonna complain. I'm a little sleepy, a little drained, but that's all right. Not complaining. That's just what I am.
Why aren't you complaining?
Because I just don't need to.
Yeah. Is it because I'm more tired?
Yeah. I don't want to take away
Is
your
that really
crown,
why?
King. No, I just don't feel a need to complain about
You
it.
still complain.
No, there's just not really anything to say. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm tired, you know, because it's just stupid. That's how I feel inside, just so
Gotcha.
you all know. We're dog sitting for a few days. Literally by the time this episode's out, we won't be dog sitting anymore. Pretty much. Just for a few days to help out a friend. And it's been very fun. Because it's fun watching our cat mildly adjust to it. Because he's a very dramatic boy. And we've gone through this a bunch. We're all basically anytime we travel, we're like, we're so proud of him. He did so good, and he's doing great. He's an incredibly flexible cat, thankfully. We lucked out in that area. That change and adjusting things doesn't kill him. He actually is generally fine with it and can adjust to things incredibly quickly. And it's not his first time being around dogs, but it's his first time having a dog in his space and
for an extended period
of time, longer than 3 hours. So that has been a lot of fun. He's very dramatic. So there's been a little bit of drama. I'm suspecting he thinks, I feel like as it's now been about 48 hours. Yeah. I think he's starting to see this as permanent, and it's stressing him out a little bit. I think he just needs a little bit of a confidence boost every now and then that we still know he lives here. So I feel like if we're really around the dog, he'll come through and just meow a lot and get our attention and then kind of disappear for a bit, which he doesn't really do that if it's just us. He doesn't cause as much of a scene if it's just us. So I feel like he needs a little bit of a boost that validation that I still exist. You think he's questioning his reality?
No.
I think he's questioning his reality.
I think he has only child syndrome.
He does have only child syndrome.
So now that there's a new child,
yeah,
he now has older sibling.
Yeah.
Which is, I was here first.
Yeah, a little bit. He's not being mean.
Why are you giving that thing special treatment?
Yeah.
Because every 5-year-old is everybody who hates the thought of somebody benefiting from something that they won't specifically benefit from. They just have the mindset of a 5-year-old.
Right.
You're thinking like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old sees their baby sister, baby brother get a bottle of milk. And they're like, I want a bottle of milk.
Yeah.
It's no, you can drink it from a glass.
Yeah.
You're 5.
It has been funny. We don't give our cat treats very often, but the dog that we're watching gets treats a good bit for certain. It's a dog. He gets it for certain things.
Bathroom and do everything you were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you behaved on the walk. You get a treat.
And it's Grogu can tell he's getting treats, and he's like, "The fuck? Where are my treats?" And so then after we've given the dog the treats, the cat gets treats, and then the dog's like, "The fuck? The cat's getting treats."
Yeah, we have fun here.
But no, everyone's coexisting. Grogu just needs validation. But he doesn't even know. He only has to make it 2 more days. So everyone cheer on Grogu, even though at this point it's already over. How are you doing, Spencer?
I'm tired. I'm good.
Yeah.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Got some games to play.
You've been killing it in terms of I know we've brought up streaming now for the past 3 or 4 weeks, but you set out a challenge to do 100 PlayStation Plus platinums.
Uh-huh.
Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
I don't know.
All I was gonna say is that you're killing it.
Yeah.
You don't think you're killing it?
I appreciate that. I feel like I've slacked heavily the past couple of weeks.
I guess there's been a slight.
Maybe not. It's still only early June. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm only at 55. At the end of June, we are officially halfway through the year.
Yeah.
So still on pace, but suddenly I'm you know? So we'll see.
You don't feel as comfortable as you've been feeling for the past few months, is what you're saying.
Right.
Now being officially almost at the halfway point.
Right. But if by the end of June we have 60.
Yeah. Killing it.
I feel good. Because we're on pace for 120.
Right.
And to have a 20 platinum buffer.
Yeah.
Basically, for all you math fans out there, 100 evened out over
12 months.
A month, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8.5.
Yeah.
So 20, a surplus of 20 is 2.5 months worth.
Yeah.
No, not quite. A little over 2 months worth.
Yeah.
Though. So with that in mind, 5 more I'm at 55. 5 more is the feeling of I'm cruising still versus I'm teetering on
Yeah.
on falling behind soon.
Sure.
So
I hear you. But I also wanted to say, I know we said this probably a few weeks ago now, but you have been very consistent in streaming. And if I remember correctly, that even though we are not goals people in our like first or second video of the new year, I think both of us were like, we want to be more consistent in the things we want to do.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like you are absolutely doing that. And that is all. Just wanted to recognize that.
Every Monday.
And I think you should be proud.
I am. I'm super proud. I'm super happy with it.
Yeah.
It's what I wanted to do, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
Every Monday and Thursday.
Hell yeah.
I still have the desire to like get like a third stream in every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really tough because Monday and Thursday are actually kind of perfect days in my eyes. Unless you're a person who has the time and the energy to do every single day, obviously. That's truly like the peak. But I like doing Monday and Thursday because it opens up Saturday. And every single day you stream, there's always a gap. There's always a few days in between.
Yeah.
To just kind of like not have to worry about being on or anything like that.
Sure.
And it opens up the possibility of Saturday, which I feel like is like kind of a peak day. I guess the only other combination would be Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and you'd be kind of double dipping with using Friday and Sunday. But Sunday, with having Monday, like you stream late, so with Monday being right around the corner, it's actually kind of nicer to like get through Monday, do a nice little stream, and
it is kind of fun that we like set up our week doing that and then almost end it doing that. And so the people who are there consistently, it's like we're all on Monday, we're all like, oh, it's Monday. And then on Thursday, we're all like, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
It is Thursday, people. So that's always very funny. Like that energy is completely like it's there every single week. Like we're all there and we're like, it's Monday, but we got this. And on Thursday, we're like, the weekend is here.
Yeah. Yeah, I like having little breaks in between.
Yeah, so definitely.
And obviously there were a couple of weeks where like we did do Tuesday and then had to do Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like, we had to move the Monday to Tuesday and the Thursday to Wednesday. And that's just how it worked for the week. And
yeah.
It's like, it's fine. It doesn't really like ruin it or anything. It's just, it's nice to have set days in the first place. Even if like the set days were Tuesday, Wednesday, so be it, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to just have structure and like have something set. But yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
It's been very satisfying.
It's good. Can't say I've been consistent in anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I've been consistent in.
But it's something.
To be honest.
Yeah. Well, today.
Last week. You and I got some ice cream.
Yeah, we did.
And while we were getting the ice cream, went to an actual ice cream shop. Which, is there a better experience?
I was literally about to say the vibes were immaculate.
I mean, we're talking, it's literally June 1st.
Yeah.
When we went.
Yeah, it was. It was June 1st.
First day of June. In some ways, you could say it feels like the first day of summer.
Yeah.
And we're in North Carolina, so it's hot.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's not like unbearable, but it's hot. It's warm.
It's summer.
It's nice.
It is summer.
It feels like summer.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like summer.
Feels like summer. At least to me. E. Anyway, so we were out. You had an event. I bought some video games.
Oh yeah,
kind
baby.
of just the perfect day.
It really was. Well, no, it wasn't, but yes, it was a nice day.
So to make up for the perfect day, we went and got ice cream to actually make it a perfect day.
Yeah.
little ice cream shop right behind the video game store that we'll go
It's
to.
literally got one of those like older logos that like is a little like pale in color, like it's been there forever.
Mhm.
And it's like just the town's name and then ice cream.
Yeah.
Like you can, and then just inside is a little like weird, a lot of kids' drawings
Yeah.
pasted to the wall, a lot of like kids' craft corners, and just the beautiful display of all the ice cream.
Yeah.
Classic.
Great experience, right?
Yes.
Like being in an ice cream shop. Did we get a little blurry? No. Being like in an ice cream shop, getting ice cream, hot summer day.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Like even when we lived up in Boston, we had one that was technically within walking distance that we could get to, and
That was a good one.
we walked there like a couple of times, and it's just like it's such a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Like
It's that summer activity.
I love it so much. While we were there, we saw people shitting on that experience, the American experience of standing in an ice cream shop on the first day of summer getting ice cream. People were Doordashing ice cream. And it made us realize,
You crazy.
or made us think, what is the worst thing to DoorDash? My first instinct would be ice cream sundae, which we saw somebody fucking DoorDash. That is, you have to be an insane person to do that.
Yeah.
If you are DoorDashing something,
Yeah.
it's not within walking distance of you.
Right.
If something's not within walking distance, that means it's at least a 5-minute drive,
Mhm.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go conservative with our estimations and say it's at least a 10-minute drive.
Okay.
Instead of you just driving the 10 minutes and getting out and walking into the ice cream shop and paying $8 for an ice cream sundae, you are instead going to have somebody else drive and pick it up, drive 10 minutes to you before you're even able to start. It's 10 minutes there and then you're eating it. Now it's a 10-minute drive with it sitting there, not in any sort of fucking bag keeping it.
Like a no cooler bag or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
If your DoorDasher has that, please tip them.
Well.
Tip them. Well, tip every DoorDash driver, but tip them
Yeah.
like an extra $5 because they just saved your dessert.
Yeah.
So it's going to take 10 minutes at least to get to you before you're able to enjoy it. That just seems insane to me. That's
Yeah.
not. How is that? And you're paying a premium for it.
Right.
I get that not everybody can drive.
Yes.
I get that not everybody can.
I feel like I do want to say before we get started, obviously there are people who can utilize and need and whatnot.
Yeah.
We just want to spoof on, in our opinion, some of the most outrageous things.
But it's like the idea of like, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like the one order that came in, like while we're sitting there, which, oh my gosh, these poor employees, there's 2 of them because of course it's high school graduation. I presume. Yeah, it's definitely high school graduation. And so there's 2 of them there. And it's that 7:00 time where somehow every family who has like 3 kids is showing up and like it's just chaos. And 2 poor people are like trying to handle everything and they're like running back and forth. And these like DoorDash jobs are coming in as they're serving everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And the one has this long ass list. Like they must have ordered like 6 different.
I think it was 4
Sundays,
items.
milkshakes, etc., and like extensive. Like,
And that's the other thing.
Sprinkles on this one, peanuts.
Whatever the
yeah.
first one is that they make is now sitting
Yeah.
made for the duration it takes to make the other ones.
Yeah.
It's just such an insane
So like
thing
in
to
our
order.
argument of like we understand people need it and some obviously treat yourself, who cares, but like there were like 4 to 6, not one of those people could come pick it up, not one of those humans
It's
could
also
come.
just crazy because it's like you're missing out on like the authentic experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am viewing it of the lens of how I use DoorDash.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody who uses DoorDash is a lazy piece of shit.
Right.
I use DoorDash because I am a lazy piece of shit.
Right.
And if you are a lazy piece of shit, and you use DoorDash, try and break the habit because like it sucks. You're getting gouged.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times the restaurants are also somehow getting gouged, and it's just like an all around bad thing. But I get it. Yeah. Some people need it. My argument would be for people who need like the services like that. It's like, I think you'd be better served and doing yourself justice by just buying ice cream through like Instacart from like the grocery store, having like ice cream delivered to you there, popping it in your freezer, and just going to town on it whenever you want ice cream.
Yeah, I agree.
But I get that
but
that's
there is
also not the
something.
same.
There is something about it because we have ice cream on hand a lot, and I'm telling you, getting ice cream that day was literally the best.
Euphoric.
And like I could already go back and get it again.
But yeah, so anyway, we were
ice
thinking
cream,
about
top of the list.
Yeah, ice cream just seems like the craziest.
Yeah.
And like worst thing. Again, if you're a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, I tried doing a really quick Google, which I'll link it just because I'm referencing it. There wasn't anything like that crazy, but in case, maybe you're a DoorDasher or this is something that interests you, I found a small Reddit thread that was like, other people who use food delivery services, like, are the delivery people. Like, what are some of the most outrageous things that you've been asked to order, like, deliver?
I think anything cold.
Most of
like ice.
Yeah.
Like an iced coffee.
Yeah. Most of the comments were actually like, they were more like, we think it's outrageous when people order like one thing, like a coffee, like not even talking about the temperature issue, one coffee. So you're spending, let's say it's a $4 to $5 coffee, whatever you got it in it and from. Yeah, you are now spending delivery fees.
I want my coffee.
You are tipping, like, which you should be, but like you're doing all this extra shit for.
That's the other problem. People may not be tipping.
People might not be tipping because they're like, it's $3, but someone just put all this work into getting you that $3 coffee or whatever. But yeah, like most of them were more focused on the amount. And specifically in a situation where they saw people were like, because obviously they go to the place and then deliver to you, they were more focused on the short distance. So they'd be like, I got someone a coffee and they lived 3 minutes away from the coffee place. And it's like, what? And but some of them were pretty funny. Like some of them were like, I was Doordashing like pretty late. And I had to deliver like literally just a bag of like McNuggets to a house that was reeking of weed, like shit like that. Yeah. Which is pretty funny.
I mean, I just think like
someone said they had to deliver a Diet Coke to a house like 6 minutes away from like, I don't know if it was a 7-Eleven or like what, but like basically a gas station.
Yeah.
They delivered a Diet Coke.
I mean, that's wild.
Like, that's, again, it's just like, I understand there are moments, but
it's just so wild that we're like that ingrained in like just convenience.
Yeah.
That will go so far to pay a $15 premium. Or again, worse, you don't go the full extent of the premium that you are receiving and you don't tip people right. And at that point, it's because we're so fucked up as a society that we literally just see it as a service and we don't see the human being behind it.
We don't see any value in what was just done. Yeah.
That's really frustrating. Yeah. But I think anything that has like ice in it, like an iced drink, that's like crazy to me because it's going to get watered down.
Yes. Yeah.
I've never experienced, because as a DoorDash driver, get your bag, whatever. But like, it's also one of the other main reasons, like I've just like stopped and don't have a desire to use them, is that like so often you'll watch them pick up your order and then drop off like 3 other orders. And that's like my biggest, like, that was my biggest turnoff about the person who got a Sundae, right? Is that like, and then there's 4 other items. It's like your Sundae gets made and now you're waiting for 3 other things to get made before you get that thing. So it's just the actual experience is already so diluted.
Yeah.
Before it even leaves.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like, and it's just caused us to go like so heavily into this like not interact with like other people, not just like be out and about, that like, I mean we've done it, right? Like we'll order, like we've gotten like burgers from like not fast food
Yeah.
delivered.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we shouldn't do that.
No.
I'm all for takeout.
Yeah.
I'm all for takeout, which is also already somewhat of a diluted experience in terms of the food. But I'm fine with takeout because it's quicker in that sense. But like, I'll go pick up the food myself.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think is like actually like meant for delivery and has been perfected because it was perfected from the onset is pizza.
Yeah.
It's really the only thing that I can think of because to go into like other things that I think are terrible to get like delivered, soup.
Yes.
I feel like would be a terrible thing for everybody involved.
Yeah.
I'm sure most drinks are like pretty sketchy for the drivers.
Yeah.
To have to worry about, like most dessert drinks too, like milkshakes and stuff. And I do think that's something that places have gotten better about with like putting tape over them and stuff. But yeah, I think that's where I start. What like, where does your mind immediately go?
I mean, I definitely agree with everything you said. I mean, I'm laughing because we've like done a few of the things that were like, don't do that.
Like what?
Well, because literally we would get the takeout burgers, and it was burgers and milkshakes, and we would get takeout burgers and milkshakes. Not takeout, deliver.
Are you talking up in Boston?
Yeah.
See, those actually got to us and were still pretty good.
They were, but we did take a gamble the first time.
Yes, and had them delivered.
Yeah.
Yes. Here we had burgers delivered, and I was like, never again.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say,
but Boston also pushed us to our limit.
We used delivery, like delivery services a lot more in Boston because it actually was more of a hassle for us to move our car, get somewhere that had zero parking, like one of us jumps out while the other one does a loop around to then like get back in the car with our stuff and then get home. That was more work than just paying someone to deliver it.
Yeah.
And then, upon moving to Charlotte, where just coming from Boston, much better roadways, much better parking, much better all of the above. It is now no longer worth it for us. Pizza is pretty much, and we go through the shop, not through a delivery service, technically.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing at this current point that we get delivered. We've tried like one or two other things.
We tried having burgers delivered the one time.
And it just went bad, and we double checked the prices, and the prices were like so we paid like some stupid inflated amount, which like I'm not saying is necessarily bad because I know again the services tend to price gouge the shops.
Yeah.
Like I'm not mad about it, but like it just even lowered the point of us doing it.
Because we could have just ordered online.
Yes. And picked it up or whatever.
Through the restaurant and then gone and picked it up.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. What actually cracks me up about delivery, not that I've used it, but I hear about it, is more now the technically Instacart or GoPuff or the more like item pickup.
Like grocery store? Yeah,
like grocery store, convenience store, stuff like that, which I know you can do on like Uber Eats because they're like pushing that. They're like, you can also get your shampoo or whatever and shit. That stuff kind of cracks me up because, and I really do feel like I need to be clear, I'm not against delivery services. Like they have value.
Yeah.
But it is like you said, it's the how much we've gotten comfortable with the convenience.
It also just sucks because like these are just services.
That's gonna fall.
These are just services that I think like serve a really specific
purpose
for specific people.
Yeah.
And I think almost we should be like turning them into like necessities. Yeah. And only if it's a necessity should you be using it. Yeah. Because I think like I cut you off.
You're fine.
Because you were about to share a story, but I feel like you constantly hear with like Instacart and like grocery store and like item pickup stuff that like replacement items are constantly like being put in, or like you're not getting like you asked for 3 avocados and they give you
3 bags of avocados
and stuff like that, and then like you'll watch people bitch about it, but the people who are bitching about it are the people who don't technically need it, like could like they just decided again to be lazy basically. Mm-hmm. And So then you see like the services get a bad rep, and then people don't want to use the service, even though the service is technically a good and like a positive and like good impact. And then by having people who don't need to use it flood it, you get the people who are working, rushing,
Yeah.
and not taking the time. I mean, I feel like
I genuinely do not blame, especially I'll say grocery, because not that I've done it, but like they're definitely put on a time crunch.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
all delivery drivers are, because you're only getting paid so
But it's
much for
crazy
the amount of
because
time.
if you
And so
take
like
the
no
time-
shit errors are done. I say errors, like no shit, they just grab something instead of like explicitly what you meant.
Right.
Like that's not shocking. If you told someone to do 10 things but they have 3 minutes to do it, they're probably gonna fuck it up. Like, and if
Their
you're gonna be
eyes
mad at
scan
anyone, like yeah, like
for 2 seconds, and then they do what you do.
Yeah.
They look with their mouth, not their eyes. So then they just grab something
what's
that's
close.
closest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't fault them in any way. Also, like I almost think of it more as like I don't think we need to like stop using them, but I feel like we should be really cautious because how popular they've become has given it a price hike, has given it value, and not value for the people who are actually fucking doing the work,
Right.
but value to the companies who are running these services.
But don't you think that is like a direct don't you think the sheer number of people who are using it has a direct impact on like the quality of the service?
I'm sure it does not help. Yeah.
It just like, I don't know. To me, it feels like if less people were using the services, you wouldn't hear, I guess because less
But
people
also,
are using it. But
But
feel
also,
like
I think
you
they wouldn't, not as many people would be doing the work. That would immediately drop if users dropped.
You think?
Yeah.
You don't think people are overburdened in terms of like the ones who are doing the work?
I think technically, but I also
I feel
think
like there's too much work, and that's why.
But I also think like I'm talking like in the like the app system, not a structured grocery store system. Like both are absolutely overburdened. But in a system where someone is like, there's enough gig work here for me to make some money, the minute users drop, people are going to start deciding if they're getting enough money per time of like if there's enough gig work still there in the app space, like we'll call it freelance space. I think there would be a drop, and then you'd be in a pretty similar situation where people would where then it would be an argument of, does the cost of everything go up because there's less people using it, and like more people, and to in order to keep workers doing it for a gig, they need to get compensated more for their time because there's less people, so you have less jobs. Like, you know what I mean? Like there would probably be some weird fluctuation either way.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna start my own delivery app.
Okay. I don't think we need another delivery app. No, what I think we need, like honestly, I like them as a service. Obviously, people need them.
It's gonna be called SMSoup Kitchen.
Oh, okay. All right. And what? The end?
That's it. That's what it's called.
But it's a delivery app.
Yeah.
And it like goes to like all the local stores.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
What else do you want?
Oh, I'm just making sure. Like, what sets you apart?
Good personality.
Oh, okay. Big tits.
Neither one of us have those.
No, but I think the services are needed. I wish, which this is a big ask for our Western American society, I wish those quote unquote services could be offered more on a community level than a paying service.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm doing anything. Like, I'm saying this at me as much as the world. Like, if you have a neighbor who struggles to get their freaking groceries,
Yeah.
offer to get them their groceries.
Or what
like,
if-
offer to get them while you're on your run.
Or what
Like,
if we like, you know, you have like developments and stuff.
yeah.
Like, what if your like taxes or your dues or whatever went
Yeah.
to like funding a service that was specific to your community?
Yeah.
That was a box truck that went and picked up the
Sure.
food and then went to each house and dropped off the food.
Sure.
And it's like, it's a $20 fee, $30 fee, and then the price of your groceries.
Sure.
But like that you experience, you know, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might still have to run out by yourself every now and again, but you would get that convenience factor that is like just included in your like again, it goes back to the whole thing that we were talking about where it's like every part of living right now is death by 1,000 cuts.
Mhm.
You're paying for just a billion different services. And obviously like this would be another instance of that in a way, but it's so much easier to swallow when it's just lumped in with your other like living expense.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to pay your like your taxes and stuff. So
Yeah.
like if stuff could just be like it's like the in some ways it's like the hidden costs
Mhm.
that are sometimes easier to swallow because
Yeah.
like if you have your taxes automatically taken out, right, and you don't need to pay them at the end of the year, it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So you don't care as much.
Absolutely.
You'll bitch and moan that you didn't have a big
return or whatever.
return.
Yeah.
But that just means that you didn't
You got the money
overpay
you
in
should have gotten.
taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, like I obviously without turning into a whole rant, like I think there's two ways. Obviously, one, just like the lack of community is so apparent when these are needs from people and there's unfortunately very little chance of that getting met without paying for it. Or obviously the convenience, which could turn me into a whole, it just absolutely helps consumerism explode times 1,000 because you've literally now been told you can pick up your phone and 4 clicks, have something you want given to you.
Which is like great in so many ways.
Yeah, but
what a world.
Yeah.
What a way to get rid of the mundane.
Yeah.
Right? What
Yeah.
we should actively be trying to do. The problem is we get rid of the mundane and it's not actually a direct benefit. It actually technically hurts you. You're paying a premium. So the mundane is only for poor people is what it becomes, right? Like we never figure out a way to just like get rid of like the tiresome and burdensome things that we could if we just all had the big brain ability to think about what society could be and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like instead it's like, well, if you're rich enough, you never have to worry. That's
Right.
it. That's all you're teaching.
Right. But yeah, it just like encourages you that like,
and if it's a necessity, if you actually really need it, you are caught up in having to pay the premium
right.
despite it being a need. So
Right.
like you're wearing glasses. It goes back to that whole thing where it's like, how is sight not just a basic human right that you have to pay a premium every year or every so often to get contacts, to get a new pair of glasses, just so that you can fucking see?
Yeah.
Like disabilities and like the chores of life are for poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're rich enough, you can fix anything and have like all the freedoms.
Right.
And like, yeah, I feel like the service apps and stuff like that, the delivery apps are kind of like a prime example of like you're saying, consumerism. And then in a lot of ways, it feeds the capitalism machine.
Right.
It sucks.
Well, because I mean, there's so many. I am not about to sit here and be like, if life was like it was in 40s and 50s. Obviously, I'm not about to do
I
that.
wish it was.
Nope.
Nothing was bad back then. I can't think of a single thing. America's been around for 250 years, and certainly something 70 years ago, we worked out all the kinks by then.
I'm not about to make that argument, but the method of shopping we know of today, as in pretty much all these big box stores, grocery stores being gigantic, all of this shit being rather available to us, again, in the United States for the most part, has literally only been a thing like since then. And like, of course, like, again, I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm saying we've gotten so comfortable with, it's really hard to distinguish what's a need anymore. It's hard to, there's very little, oh yeah, I can just go without that for fucking 2 weeks when I actually make my run to go do something. Or I actually realize I don't need it at all. Like that doesn't happen because now you can get it so easily and it's so close to you and you can pay someone else to do it that it's like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I just do it? And that is how we all now have these properties that keep getting bigger and bigger and more filled with stuff.
Yep.
And like, yeah, it's just like this cycle that is so outrageous. And that's where like, not that I have an example, but that's where like, again, I'm not trying to call it like one or another. I just know like GoPuff and Instacart, the like item pickup ones, not necessarily just the food. Kind of like cracked me up. Like when those really started getting pushed and advertised, and they were getting advertised like to young people, which were the ones, you know, using the technology the most. So I get it. But I'm like, young people are now supposed to use barely their expendable income to pay to pick up razors from their local convenience store. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand the layer. Like my brain can't compute the layers. Because the people who like actually truly don't have time and like somehow need, quote unquote, need a razor, which like isn't a thing. Like they're not the ones using the service. Like,
yeah.
And so, yeah, I just remember, actually, a friend of ours, this was during COVID, we made a joke about being out of milk. And it was mostly a joke because it was like, shit, we're adults now and we're the ones who have to go get the milk when we're out of milk. Obviously, our parents don't just keep the fridge stocked with milk. And our friend literally was like, go check your front door. And she had puffed us a gallon of milk and like some candy. Very, very sweet. It was very cute. Loved it. But I feel like I really thought about it. And I was like, obviously we were just joking around. Like we were not actually asking anyone to send us anything. And she was just very nice and wanted to surprise us. And it was funny. We could have walked a block and gotten a thing about like that's where it was GoPuff
That's
from.
where it was GoPuff from.
GoPuff,
I think from a 7-Eleven or something that was like literally catty corner to our place.
Yeah, which again, we were just being lazy and asshole, like joking around. Like at no point, again, want to be clear, we were not expecting anyone to do anything. But like, and obviously that's just where we lived. Growing up, where we grew up, we would have had to get in the car and drive 15 minutes. But 15 minutes, you drive 15 minutes, you go get the freaking milk, or you don't have milk that day. Like that's the answer. So I don't know if that's just like where we grew up that has like helped us have that mindset, because delivery services are not an option where we grew up. Probably still not, because I've now gone home at points and jokingly looked it up to see if it's an option, and it is not. You get in the car and you go get whatever it is you need to get. And you literally sit there as a family and you go, is this worth getting in the car and going getting? Because you are now about to spend upwards of 30 to 40 minutes just going to and from to pick up one thing. And you have to decide if that is worth your time.
Remember that thing that I said is perfected through delivery? It's the one thing you can depend on when it comes to delivery, to not have this distilled down quality.
Yeah. Pizza. Yeah.
I don't think anywhere delivered pizza.
No.
Except my parents.
No, same. We had to go pick it up.
I feel like you had one pizza shop.
But it fluctuated. They would occasionally not. We had one.
We didn't have any. We were smack dab in between two like little towns that had pizza shops. I mean, the town we went to school in had like three or four depending on the time.
Yeah. And you just went and got it. That's what you did. It was, we're getting pizza Friday night. Okay, everyone write down the order. You call it in. And then basically as soon as you call it in, you can get in the car, because by the time you get there, it's going to be sitting there. Yeah. So I don't know if that's just like where we grew up helped us have that mindset that even though, we get stuff delivered, we've used the services, we're not like, we obviously don't need it, and we don't view it as anything close to a need. Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't think people realize genuinely how much of like a wallet suck it is.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's real, like they're really bad. Like if you don't need it, if you're doing it simply because you're lazy, I get it. But like, take a step back and really think about it. You could be saving a ton of money. Not to like lecture anybody on how they spend their money, but you just see so many people online where it's just like, my rent is $1,000, my student loans are $500, and my delivery app fees are $4,000. Can somebody who can budget help me? Like, my family's starving.
Yeah.
They're dying.
Yeah. I am blanking what I was going to say. Oh my gosh, it's going to drive me insane. I don't know what I was going to say.
So what wouldn't you get delivered?
Most things. What wouldn't I get delivered?
Yeah.
literally most things. I think my wood delivered is getting even shorter and shorter at this point in my
What
life.
would you have delivered?
Literally pizza.
Yep.
Pizza is fun because, like you said, it's the one thing that, like, at least we've never had a bad experience getting pizza delivered. Most pizza shops do delivery through their shops.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good. Easy, and because obviously love a night where you don't have to go and get anything. You don't got to cook anything. It just shows up at your door and you get to enjoy it. Pizza for sure is the number one thing. Beyond that, being that we don't, literally Boston was the only time in my life that I leaned towards delivery because of like how annoying it was to get around. Anymore, I don't know what I'd get delivered. Oh, what I was going to say is, sorry, this is like a bit of a tangent, but like a point is the whole like being lazy thing, the whole like convenience and whatnot. I hear you. But also like I latching on to, you said that like pretty early, like it just feels like another method of like isolation and avoidance of human interaction.
That's what I mean. Like, again, if you're doing it strictly out of like being lazy, like try and break the habit.
Yeah, because literally like I get it. I have a few family members and family friends who like they use the grocery store pickup every now and then where it's just like done because it's just one less thing you have to do in the week. And I hear you, and we're busy people.
100%.
But there's also something about the like all the little silly things humans do that have become part of our schedules that I personally love. Like there's just something really funny about it that like, oh my God, I have to drive to the store and I have to go pick up food so that I can go.
Going into a grocery store is like one of the last
I like love it.
remaining parts of like our daily lives where it's like you are in a space with other people. You're all doing a similar thing, but not impeding on the ability of the person to do, like driving, you're impeding on somebody's ability to drive. No matter what, whether you're driving like a jackass or they're driving like a jackass. No matter what, somehow you are going to inconvenience somebody. But with grocery store shopping, like you can still inconvenience people. But you get what I mean.
But you're
like,
all just there
just doing
your thing.
You're in a shared space doing your thing. And it's like, you don't even have to interact with anybody else.
Right.
But you get to just exist in a space with other people and like acknowledge that there are other people existing.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing as you. And then like you go back on your merry way.
I know. And I kind of love that. Like I mean, I'm a person who actually, I do enjoy grocery shopping. I just like, who cares? Like, it's just, for me, it's just 20 to 30 minutes of just
not even. We are so fucking efficient, dude.
But it's just like one of those silly little tasks that you do every now and then.
Most people do it weekly.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong. It depends how you shop. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. Whenever you do it,
some people do
silly.
It
it's just a silly little task that you get to do every now and then that I really just think reminds us of like how human we all are, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I am not in a place where thankfully I don't have to give that up, and I don't really want to give that up. And that is what I feel like delivery services take away is like that. And I'm not going to get into like how silly it is. Obviously, there's a lot of stupid things we fill our time with, by all means. I'm not going to get into that, but like that's just one thing that we all do to a degree. And I just like wouldn't want to give that up. I don't know.
I also view it as like a guarantee. Like I get like some people have to drive an hour to work.
Sure.
And work in person.
Absolutely.
And it's an hour and a half home because there's more traffic and there's always an accident on that one highway you have to take. Always. Without fail.
Yeah.
If that's not a clear instance that we live in a simulation, I don't know what is.
Right.
But so like in those instances, like I somewhat get it. But like
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think since we've shifted more to like remote work, for me personally, it's like grocery shopping is like the one guarantee I have to like get out and like go to a place, not just like to go for a walk and be outside. It's like literally like go and be somewhere, do a task that is going to be for my benefit and like so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, like I know there's value and I get it, and like, but I think
there's also
I think at
value
times
though
there
in
are
going and
people-
doing it.
I think there are plenty of people who do it and really shouldn't.
Yes.
Is kind of where I net out.
I also like, even though I keep saying grocery stores, just because I think it's the thing everyone can very easily wrap their head around. Like, I don't enjoy ordering food, but I enjoy talking to service work. Like, I enjoy that being just a nice human experience. What? Like going and ordering coffee? Why are you making that face?
Because Shelby, anytime you have to order
I know.
something, you're shitting your pants.
I have ordering anxiety. I do. But I'm saying the actual human experience of just like acknowledging a person.
You enjoy acknowledging a person while actively shitting yourself?
I do it every day, dude. I do it every day. Every day.
I don't think you do.
No, I do have ordering anxiety, but
You have the worst ordering anxiety.
I do. I'm admitting it. I know.
Somebody's like, "Do you want fries?" And you're like, what?
You know what? And I still order in
Can I
person.
get mac and cheese with that? We don't have any mac and cheese. Yeah, I'll just do a small. That's you. Like you just like get that like
I black
you get
out.
ringing in your ears. So you like can't hear anything. So then like you go, "Can I get mac and cheese?" And then you just hear wah, and you think they said what size, and you go, "Yeah, just a small." But they said we haven't had mac and cheese in 13 years.
And I still order in person. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does.
It's actually insane.
It is, yeah.
It's crazy.
We could talk about that a whole nother day. But anyway, that is all. I don't really have a good example of like things I wouldn't order because there's just most things I wouldn't order, really. This came into more of an argument of I think we're being treated too much by convenience and letting it kind of destroy us slowly.
You know what I think is a good thing to order?
What's a good thing to
I
order?
think would actually be a good thing to order?
What?
Cake.
You think?
I think cake would keep for the most part. I mean, obviously, you worry about the travel of cake. If it
Yeah.
slides around, you might like mess up the icing, but you're gonna have to transport it no matter what.
Sure.
So cake would be something.
Ice cream cake.
No, because that melts. You dunce. Cheesecake.
All right.
'Cause that's like solid.
Sure.
You know. I'm just trying to think of like things that are actually like good.
Yeah.
Because I think everything kind of lands in like a mid.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
any pasta, for the most part, should arrive and be fine.
Yeah. Be a little lukewarm.
Yeah. But I think it's actually probably once you start to get into any sort of meat.
Yeah.
Because the best way to eat meat is when it's like hot.
Yeah.
Not burn your mouth hot, but like warm.
Yeah.
And as soon as you have like cold breaded chicken
Ugh.
or room temp,
Gross.
like slightly below room temp,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like steak.
Oh my God. Yeah. My mom, I think, knew people who would like order steaks and they were like, they just weren't great. And she's like, yeah, you ordered them.
That's
That's
the thing.
like delivery. So
You
is
never got steak delivered before.
Right.
There's a reason.
right?
Pizza you've always gotten delivered. There's a you know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think what else we'd like keep. And it's like it's funny because like not much. A lot
Right.
of stuff is meant to be eaten
Like
almost immediately.
even like fast food is kind of iffy to get delivered because the point of fast food is you literally get handed it to you
and you need
and
to
then
eat it
you
as fast as possible.
You need to eat it right then.
If you eat it as fast as
Yeah.
possible, you it won't catch up to you that it sucks until you're shitting it out.
Yeah, exactly. But getting it delivered to you, it's probably gonna start getting a little like cooler, soggy,
Yeah.
all that. Like even fast food isn't like, I don't know.
You accept it though because fast food's supposed to be bad quality.
Exactly.
Or
But like
whatever quality.
in terms of like what is good when it gets to you, like even that doesn't make the
Yeah.
cut. So anyway, if you were thinking about DoorDashing some ice cream and you are more than capable of going, maybe just go and get it. You know, stand in the line like everyone else. Enjoy it. Enjoy the summer in person. Any other last words?
No.
Thanks for being here. If there's anything crazy that you've had to deliver or asked to be delivered, feel free to share. We definitely have our share of like, even though we said things we wouldn't do, we've done them. So, you know,
Wasn't
no
your
judgment.
Hallmark movie, the person had both their legs broken?
Yeah,
and
so they had to keep
use
getting food delivery,
services,
and that's
it
how
was
they
the
met the
guy.
guy. Yeah. Which, that was a need. Both her legs were broken. And she
And-
lived in the 4th story of a no elevator building.
And she found love.
She found love.
So maybe we should use delivery apps.
That's
Because you
true.
too, in a fake Hallmark movie, could find love.
You could. If you have no idea what we're talking about, go back a bit and find the episode, I think, titled We Wrote the Perfect Hallmark Movie, or How to Write the Perfect Hallmark Movie. It is a great episode. Anyway, thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. Both of our socials are linked in the description. You can find SMSoup podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and you can find, the episodes here on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
What are we talking about next week?
I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Bye.